And it was a guy from Kent across the estuary posting on Facebook and on social media that he's coming to visit around Colchester very soon, and he's looking for some recommendations of places to eat and check out and what foods are best. His name is James Garbett, and he runs online blogs and socials called Tasty Tales, born out of his love for Kent. But he's now looking to expand and explore beyond the realms of the Garden of England. So I thought we could hear about his passion for good food, but also help him out on the show today with maybe a few little, advisories of where he could possibly go and check out a few places and kind of help him out a little bit before he has to go looking for himself. James, welcome to the show. How you doing, my man?
Jake, my mate, how's things? You okay?
Yeah, I'm very well. I guess we should put a bit of a disclaimer here. It's a very small world, but back when I did student radio and I was starting this thing out, me and James crossed paths each other because we both were in Canterbury, weren't we? We were both around those parts, and you were a superstar DJ and I was trying to become one and still trying. And here we are. Now you're doing food blogging, and so...
Now you're the superstar DJ and I'm doing food.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'd probably trade it for for quite a long time, to be fair. Where does your love for food come from, James? How much of a chef are you yourself?
Yeah, from a chef's point of view, I've got to say, not fantastic, but that's why I eat out so much. So I'm one of these annoying people that you see on Instagram and Facebook that shares their pictures on their stories of their food and is constantly uploading pictures of their food. So I don't want to the people that I know with pictures of food. I thought, why not do it on a bigger scale? So I started an Instagram page, and so that's where I'm at now. I've got, it took off a little bit, so it's going okay.
Good. And why did you want to start the food review page, first of all? Because some people might see it as a bit of a commitment, and maybe for you it's just a bit of a hobby. What's kind of the vibe? You just want to share your good memories and make the secrets not become secrets? What's the vibe for you?
There's a few things. I think first of all, look, I'm a big bold man that likes to eat, so that's the first thing. And then the second thing, look, I want to help support some of the local businesses and independent businesses. So I thought, if I'm out eating anyway as a big bold man, why not take some pictures and upload it and try and share the goodness out there. So yeah, that's the two main reasons, Jake.
And it's whenever, very, very honest of you, whenever people get into this kind of thing, I remember there's the guy that does Man vs Food. I can't remember his name exactly, but it's all over the series are on Netflix and various other streaming services that you can get, and they have to really watch their weight and really work out a lot. Is that on your mind when you're sort of maybe going to have these like loaded burgers and this beautiful ice cream stack and all of that, or is that just we'll deal with that later?
I think this is probably helping a little bit, to be honest, Jake, because I've gone out when I used to go out on my own and not post pictures. I'm always getting burgers, fish and chips, but now this has helped me try different and new foods. So maybe I'm eating a little bit better, but it's still I'm still indulging. So it's a balance, isn't it? Everything's about balance.
Absolutely. We're in summer right now, so we're probably thinking about it a little bit more. But actually, when you get to winter, I can imagine your page is going to be just like goals. And we're going to be looking at it and just be like, okay, yep, this is where it's at. He's having a carvery every single day of the week, and he's gone to here and here. It looks great.
A carvery would be good. I've got to cut down on the burgers. That's the only problem.
Yeah, but they're good, aren't they? Come on, all the sauce and the fillings and the bacon. Oh God, it's getting me going now. We're doing this at what? We're doing this at 3:00, and there might be some barbecues, or maybe people now want a barbecue because they're hearing all this. And for now, just finally, you're a Kent lad initially, but essentially you've posted in a Colchester Facebook group and lots across Essex that we spotted here at BBC Essex. You're coming here soon, and you've been asking for recommendations. Why have you got your sights set on Colchester? You're expanding beyond Kent.
Well, look, Kent's great. We've got lots of food to try in Kent, and I'm still exploring Kent as well. But I'm actually coming up for it's a family holiday, to be honest. So I'm going to spend 3 days of just eating and trying all the local restaurants. So yeah, I did post in the local group, and I think I ended up with about 220 recommendations. Wow. So my head's more scrambled now than it was before, to be honest. So if any of the listeners can help me out and give me some recommendations, that'd be good.
Yeah, well, we'd add to the 200 or so, and I'm sure there is plenty to go around. That's an incredible response, and yeah, the whole county's got some great spots. If you want to, venture out of Colchester a little bit as well, of course, we've got the coasts and all that stuff. So for the minute, James, thank you very much. We'll give people a chance to get their suggestions into us, and yeah, if you're listening right now, what are the best food spots around Essex? Please let us know and help James out, because he wants to be tucking into some sweet and delicious food when he comes to Essex in not very long time here in the county. All right, we'll get back to James after the latest. JP Cheered right now, though, on your summer Saturday in the middle of our summer social. By the way, Pink to play next for you on BBC Essex. Our summer social topic today, we're basically need your help to pick out some of the best food spots in the whole of the county, because we've got someone from Kent who is, well, looking to invade slightly, but he does have family in Essex, so it's kind of okay. James Garbett is on the show right now, who has got his own food review blogging page, and he just teases us with all these amazing pictures of burgers, milkshakes, healthy food as well, I'm sure. And he's been doing all of his thing in Kent, but he's coming over to Essex in not too distant future, and wants recommendations, because he's been posting all these Facebook groups on socials. Where do I go in Essex? Where do I go around Colchester? So we thought we could get the help of Essex, the help of you today, on the show right now as part of our summer social. James, thank you for sticking around on the show. So we've had one in already from Terry on the show. He says on food places, not Colchester, but if you're willing to venture down to Chelmsford a little bit and part on your way through, there's an Oriental buffet in Chelmsford called Songs near Bond Street. How are you with your Chinese? Are you a big fan of the Chinese? What do you normally have when you go there?
I have absolutely no problem with that. That sounds like a almost a perfect recommendation, Jake. Yeah.
What's your kind of like your meal of choice? Will you go for sweet and sour chicken? Will you go for I don't know, spare ribs? What are you feeling with that?
Oh, I often go for a crispy shredded beef.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh God, if I go through my whole order, we'll be here for days, to be honest. But yeah, honestly, I'll go for everything from spring rolls, crispy shredded beef. Different rices. Yeah, I'm impartial when it comes to my my Chinese food, Jake.
You're talking my language, and that is what I absolutely like. You're literally like, it's quite scary. I like all of those things as well. I'm sure a lot of other people do too. But in the time you've been doing this so far, James, as we wait for other suggestions to come in on the show right now, what dish has stood out to you most that you've tried? I don't know how long you've been doing this. What, like a few months or something like that?
Yeah, a few months officially, yeah. But I mean, look, I've been eating a lot for a long time, so but no, officially it's been about 2 months. I've had Tasty Tales going on Instagram, but the best one that's probably stood out is the last one that I went to, which was actually an Indian curry, which was amazing. So I've got a good friend that I go around with as well, and he recommended a few dishes which were kind of home style cooked Indian food, and that was unbelievable. So yeah, that was probably the best one, which I'm going to upload in a few days as well. So but yeah, look, I've had all sorts. There's been some further down south in Canterbury and places like that I've had. Yeah,
it must get really difficult when you go along to places like this. The food comes out and you have to keep at the forefront of your mind, must take some pictures of this, because it's, this is what I'm doing it for, the page, and like to review stuff. And you must get so caught up in it sometimes. You must be like, oh, it's all gone now, oops. I didn't mean to do that.
Honestly, it's worse if I'm with people and yeah, they want to eat, and I have to say, please, can I just get a picture first?
Oh, but you're that guy.
Like I said before, I'm that annoying person that has to get pictures. So yeah.
Is this like obviously it's I guess a bit of a hobby and a bit of a side hustle, as some people might say, for now. But would this work towards maybe a bit more of like a full-time job? Because people doing this kind of stuff, it can become a bit of a career. We were mentioning before, it's Adam Richmond, by the way, who used to do the Man vs. Food stuff. Like, they can make an actual like proper career out of it. I mean, what's kind of the aspirations for you?
He was the guy that set the pace, wasn't he?
Yeah,
I think years ago. But I can't believe how quick my page taken off, how quick it took off on Instagram. I mean, I think I only had it up maybe 2 weeks and I hit 1,000 followers, and then it's just gone on from there. So Yeah, I mean, look, it could be good with the amount of attention it's getting at the moment. I mean, look, who doesn't like food at the end of the day? So,
Quite, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's good. I'm gonna hopefully launch YouTube soon and things like that. But yeah, I mean, everybody likes a bit of food, don't they?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's we can't live without it, so we got to enjoy it while we can. And kind of doing all this stuff then, and isn't it just an excuse to get a load of freebies? Do you get a lot of things like that, or do you actually you go to these places and you pay for the burgers and stuff? How does all that work? Because it seems like it's the life of Riley from where we're sitting.
I've had offers to go and try food and things like that, but I have paid for every single meal that I've had so far because look, I want to support independent local businesses, things like that. I don't think I don't want to just take a load of freebies, but yeah, I mean, look, it's good either way. I'm getting to eat good food, promote local businesses. It's happy days all round. Yeah,
and I think that's the important thing as well, particularly after the last few years. Small local businesses would awfully normally produce the best stuff, and that's why it's a bit of a hidden gem, particularly a lot of sort of local restaurants that no one knows about. They are the best places because they're not overcrowded with all this other stuff. So yeah, very, very important indeed. James, hang tight there for one final little bit into the show where we will get some final suggestions, and I might throw my own one in if you don't mind, if you fancy venturing off a couple of places too. James Garbett on the show right now, who is hopping across the estuary very, very shortly to check out a few eateries, and we need your help and your suggestions on the show, please, of where he could go around the Colchester area, around in Essex. What are some of the favourite food spots, particularly in the summer right now for you in the county? Chatting to our good friend of the show right now, James Garbett, who is started this food review, food blogging page, and it's because he's coming over to Essex very shortly in the next couple of weeks or so for a family holiday. But me and producer Henry, we spotted he was posting a load of Facebook groups and social media groups in communities, that kind of thing, over the last couple of days, and he wants to know the best food spots and places in Essex, and we thought the Summer Social is the best place to do this kind of thing. So James has been hanging out on the show right now, and James, you're actually, in terms of Kent, and many people in Essex will know about it very much so, Whitstable, oysters, they go hand in hand. So have you been down there today for that, or you're just chilling in Whitstable?
I am relaxing in Whitstable today. Will oysters be part of that? I'm not too sure, but I might give it a go, Jake. I might. Now you've planted the seed, yeah, maybe.
What can I say? I would never take anyone up on that offer though, because oysters, I can't. It's just not me. It's slime, but in food. And how do you kind of go along with all that stuff?
I've heard they're a bit better with Tabasco or a bit of lemon in maybe, but I'm not fully convinced. So maybe I'll have a go, a bit of content. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's not top of my list.
To be fair, it would be a great reaction if you were just down the hatch. Oh, no, thanks very much. That's not my vibe. Thank you very much. So yeah, well, no, you might be on that later, but I'm sure there's plenty other places if you don't fancy a bit of Whitstable oysters. But particularly here in Essex, of course, there are some. Particularly where you're going to Colchester, there's an island called Mersey nearby, and they're very famous for their oysters as well. So if you fancy that along the way and you want to give it a go, then you've mustered up the courage. Maybe you do it here in Essex for the very first time. Look, what are you hoping to find on our Essex shores? Because there's recommendations we can throw your way, but you're starting like this estuary civil war of food, and Essex is very famous for its certain things. But is there anything you've got your eye on particularly that you think is going to be particularly good in Essex?
Honestly, I really want to see what the locals have to offer, to be fair. And look, like I've said before, I'm a big burger guy. I'm partial to fish and chips, all the traditional food, but I'm happy to try some different dishes as well. So whatever the local recommendations are, I'm open to ideas at the end of the day. Yeah.
So we've heard here, and I've been reminded by someone who's getting in touch with us here on the show, that Henley's fish and chip shop down in Wivenhoe, which is kind of like on the outskirts-ish of Colchester, is award-winning. It's a really nice place to check out. So I don't know, fish and chips, it's hard to beat down in Kent because obviously you're right on the coast, and I don't know how you approach your fish and chips. Are you like? I hate the batter, so I kind of go around that kind of bit. But are you totally in for that? It's all of it.
I absolutely love the batter, Jake. So yeah, I'm probably the other end of the spectrum. But look, it's hit and miss, isn't it? It depends. Different places do it differently. So if I can get a nice big portion of fish and chips with crispy batter and nice chips, and then happy days. I'm not one to complain. So I've got my pen and paper out, and I've noted that one down. Definitely, yeah.
So obviously, I know you're like out and about visiting a lot of places finally, but are you going to try and sort of recreate some of these in the kitchen? Or, you know, I think we all do it. We go to a restaurant or we go to like a street food van, which is, you know, amazing. And you don't know how they sort of produce this out of what they're cooking it in. And then you go home and you try it and you're like, yeah, it's not even close.
I try and cook in the kitchen, but look, I wouldn't have as much content, would I, if I was a good cook? That's what I'm eating out all the time. So yeah, look, I'm hopeless in the kitchen, so I'm gonna stick to eating out at the moment and let other people do the cooking for me, and I'll just review it. Yeah,
sounds like a good strategy to me. Well, my final recommendation, which I always go down to in Southend, which you'll kind of be passing through, kind of not. You could if you wanted to go down that way a little bit. Oliver's on the Beach. Yeah. It's like a 20-person cafe, and it looks out onto the estuary, actually onto Kent, funny enough, and they make some of the best kind of like lunch food, and it's amazing. So that's always my spot in Southend, where I grew up, and I always go back there for a nice little spot. So yeah, it may be to add to your list. That would be pretty cool. But particularly, there's loads of places on Mersey, and that person obviously getting in touch, telling us about that fish and chip shop, Henley's as well, Wivenhoe. Yeah, hope there's a bit more for you to get your teeth stuck into there on top of the 220 that you've had already. So I hope it goes well. Are you dragging along the family for all of this as well?
I am. It's going to be a little family holiday. We're doing 3 nights over in Colchester, but like I said, I'm happy to venture out. So some of these recommendations are awesome. Just while I'm on, I want to give a quick shout out, Jake, to my baby Mia. She's 1 year old. So yeah, so I just want to shout out Mia.
Oh, amazing! Like a 4-tier burger may be out of her comfort zone at the moment, but you know, start them young, I guess. To see what happens.
Eating more than me.
Look, before you go, mate, thanks so much for coming on the show. Hope you enjoy what our county has to offer. Where can we check out all of your foodstuffs and make us eternally jealous on Instagram?
No problem. The best place to find me at the moment and find the content is on Tasty Tales Kent, and that's on Instagram. So yeah, if you want to have a look on there, yeah, you'll see all the goodness. Lovely
stuff. All right, James, have a great rest of your day in Wivenhoe, and thanks so much for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. All right, that's our summer social done for today.